Okay, good morning everyone, and first and foremost, welcome to the students who I met most of at the start of your orientation. Hopefully you are enjoying Newcastle and you have been orientated well, probably overly orientated, but you know, you're small as a cohort, but hopefully going to be strong together. I have the onerous task of introducing all the people that have developed the curriculum that you will be enduring, and also that will be supporting you, more importantly, across that journey. And I really think, you know, having been a medical student myself here in Newcastle, it's important to be able to reflect on where you are now, how you've got here now, and who has basically supported you. So to the parents, okay, we got parents in the room? Yeah, really, you should not forget that as we're going to come through. I need to recognize the presence of the people that essentially are not only supporting you, but have also developed and validated the curriculum. So we start off with Andy Long, who is the Vice Chancellor of Northumbria University, and also the Chief Executive. Now, he has supported the programme and right from starting with us, 2.5 years ago, and we'll talk to how important the joint matriculation of Northumbria students with St George's students is. We also have our Provost, Glenn Jacobs, okay, who's kind of hiding here, but who's the Provost of St George's University. And that's probably the first thing to bring up, is that you as students are jointly matriculated, so you carry both the St George's ID and the Northumbria ID. Dan Ford, who has been with us, supporting us for the past 8 years now, who's the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Northumbria University for the Health and Life Services. Robert Grant, who's in front of me, who is the Senior Associate Dean for Clinical, who spoke to some of the students yesterday. Mark Clunes, who is next to the Bob Grant, who is our Senior Associate Dean of Basic Sciences, who I work directly under. And then we've got a white coat speaker, so Eddie Morris, I've got permission to call you that, who is the Regional Medical Director and Chief Clinical Information Officer, but more importantly, perhaps the past President of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Dr. Finn, who again is in front of me, who is my partner in crime as an Assistant Dean of Basic Sciences. Tim Owen, who is hiding just there. Sheila Malhotra as Assistant Dean. Lee Dworkin, just there. All who form senior leadership positions. Marianne Morris, who is more importantly probably the better half of Eddie. And I have to leave my boss to last, okay? So essentially, Marius Loukas, who in previous incarnations of this has been misdescribed as being the Dean of Basic Science, but the Dean of the School of Medicine, the person that's responsible for the diet that you will encounter as students, is Marius Loukas, the person that employed me and the person that continues to support me, is right here at the front. So Marius, you just want to put your hand up? Because if anything goes wrong, then it's his fault. If anything goes right, then it's your benefit. Anyway, so we're here. I've got this script. I'm really bad at following scripts, but I just want us to think about building you're in. So when we did the orientation, I wanted you to be orientated to the SUNU program. So I'm speaking to the students here. I want you to be oriented to Newcastle. It's going to be a stormy day today, but it's not stormy. But the building that you're in is kind of significant, and I'm not really that into looking backwards to go forwards. But in 1887, the first medical school in the northeast was actually formed here. And the people around the ceiling that you can see are the charter class. Okay? We have, since 2007, admitted more than 2,400 students through this program who've gone on to prosper. And I don't mean financially prosper, but gone on to academically succeed. And that's what the SUNU program is all about. I'm not going to be doing too much talking, but if you look around the room, we've got Potter over there. That's not Harry Potter. We've got McBean. That's not Mr. Bean. But those were the initial charter class, if you look outside the building, from Durham University Medical College, the first medical school here in the northeast. John Snow, if you know anything about cholera, might be another person to raise. He's not on the wall, I don't know why. But anyway, there are some gaps at the back. But you are in a place whereby there is a history of medical education. We have some of the best hospitals in the country, and we continue to maintain those partnerships. So the bit says here, introduce yourself, identify yourself, current position, and all the students know who I am already, so I don't need to introduce myself, okay? But I want you to be aware of where you are, okay? And that's the most important thing. My next part, according to the script, is to actually explain why I've got this pin on my lapel, and that is really because of the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. And all of you have been given white coats that you are going to be adorned with, and also allocated the pins accordingly. In the UK, where I train, we don't wear white coats. We don't wear ties. But it is important that you're aware of the significance of the white coat. So, in 1993, Arnold P. Gold created the white coat ceremony at Columbia University. I think we've got Bob Grant who will talk further to this, to basically promote humanism in medicine. With guidance from the Gold Foundation, St. George's University initiated its own white coat ceremony. So we were one of the first adopters in 1996. Okay? So these little gold pins are significant. And we did so way before many other US medical schools. In 2003, the Gold Foundation founded the Gold Humanism Honor Society, which is called GHS, and many of your predecessors have ended up, at the point that we see them at graduation, being afforded or awarded the gold cords that represent their ability to get through, and by the students. Unfortunately, Arnold P. Gold passed away not so long ago, but he was always an international advocate for humanism in healthcare. And St. George's University, despite the fact that we've only been around for a relatively short period of time, we actually hosted him and his wife, Sandra, as keynote speakers as shortly as 2005. The SU chapter of the Gold Humanism Society is based within our Department of Clinical Skills and supported by our Dean, Dr. Loukas. Our chapter been established, and it's not just a student organisation, but it's also something that our students, when they graduate, walk away with pride and for doing so. Chapter nominees, so this is back to the students, this is not, you're nominated by your peers. And it's not like it's not populism. It's not basically based on, you have to have demonstrated across the course of your time at St George's University, you have to demonstrate that you actually are fulfilling the criteria of the. Anyway, so enough from me. You will have more from me than, across the course of the next hour or so. But it is an absolute pleasure to welcome to the podium Andy Long, who's the Vice Chancellor of Northumbria University, and a firm advocate, obviously, of the partnership. Andy.
Thank you very much, James. Distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and of course our students, I'm delighted to welcome you to Northumbria University. Now, today marks a very special occasion as we recognise the beginning of your learning journey to become qualified medical doctors. Northumbria's partnership with St George's University School of Medicine has gone from strength to strength, and since 2007, as we've heard, we've received over 2,400 students onto the year one of the MD Basic Medical Science programme. Our work to provide access to the SGU Doctor of Medicine degree for students from a wide range of educational backgrounds has led to the development of a new medical degree pathway, a key feature of our recently renewed 10-year agreement. This continues our long-standing relationship with St George's University and strengthens our ability to deliver a unique educational experience that takes advantage of our collective strengths. It ensures medical students such as yourselves are equipped with the tools that you need to provide outstanding care to patients from around the world. As medical students, you've chosen to make the care and well-being of others your main purpose in life. And of course, with such a choice comes great responsibility, and as we have seen so clearly in recent times, you can expect to face significant challenges. You'll begin your training in the full knowledge of the very real pressures that you will face in your career, but I am confident that this knowledge will bring with it strength and resolve, and I'm certain that knowing people and societies will benefit from your care will bring immense personal satisfaction and great fulfilment. Now, we hope that your time with Northumbria University will help to develop new understandings of cultures and societies, which in turn will contribute to the development of the qualities that are so important to the physician and surgeon. You have chosen, as part of your programme, to study at one of the UK's best and most exciting universities. And you don't need to take just my word for that. Many of you will know that we were named the Times Higher Education University of the Year for the whole of the UK in 2022, and more recently Modern University of the Year 2025 by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. And these are achievements of which I and my colleagues are enormously proud. These awards mean we're recognised as amongst the very best universities in the UK, and they're in direct acknowledgement of our unique position as not only a research-intensive university, but importantly one that's retained a clear mission to make change and drive social mobility, unlocking potential and changing lives. Our status as a research-intensive university was confirmed in the results of the Research Excellence Framework a few years ago. Now, this is an exercise which looks at the quality and scale of research across all UK universities. We celebrated unparalleled success here when we were recognised as the highest riser in research power for the second time, climbing to 23rd in the UK and overtaking many elite and well-established research-intensive institutions. And our research in the area of allied health professions is amongst the very best in the country, ranked 8th in the UK for research power, and with a research environment in this area judged to be world-leading across the board. These successes mark a major step change for Northumbria, positioning us as one of the fastest rising universities in the country while creating a robust platform for the next phase of our development. Our partnership with St George's University is a clear example of Northumbria's global ambitions. Students like you studying in multiple locations and benefiting from exposure to a range of healthcare settings and systems are a true representation of our vision. We value our partnership with St George's very highly indeed. It's a partnership that allows both universities to grow and thrive, to realise their individual institutional visions and to offer students a truly global experience while studying and training in the medical profession. You are at the beginning of an exciting learning journey. My hope is that your experience as a student on this programme will be life-changing and exhilarating. I wish you every success in your study with Northumbria and St George's Universities and in your future medical careers. Now I introduce Dr. Glenn Jacobs, Provost of St George's University. Thank you.
Good morning, and once again, welcome. Thank you, Vice-Chancellor Long. We at St George's University are incredibly pleased and happy about the relationship that we have with Northumbria University. So, a special word of welcome to all our students, as well as parents, friends, loved ones present here today. And I know we're also streaming this for those online. Welcome to this event as well. So this is a very special day for you as a student. Now, for me, I am from St George's University, Grenada, and I want to wish you a warm welcome from the island of Spice. You won't believe it, it's not going to be that long, then you will be joining us in Grenada. But you have a very unique time here in the UK, Northumbria, Newcastle. You're going to learn about a whole new culture. And I always think about that, you coming from different parts of the world. When I was standing outside, I spoke to some of you students, many of you are from Canada, all over Canada, but other parts of the world as well. Some people are from Brazil, some people are from Egypt, and you came a long way. You already have your own culture. Now you're going to learn about this culture, then you're going to go to Grenada and learn about that culture. But you know, one day when you're a physician, you're going to see patients from all different cultures. So the more you are familiar, or the more you familiarize yourself with different cultures, the better for you in the long run. You're joining a great program. There's a lot of faculty, staff sitting here, administrators that help you during the process to be successful. I see them all sitting here. I thank you for being present. They're here present today to support you. And without their help, you cannot be successful either. So thank you very much for what you do for the university and for our students. A little bit more about you as a student. So you've had your journey to get here. That was already mentioned earlier today. I'm not going to speak much about the White Code, although it's a very important occasion. That's why we're here today, but there's other people that will explain the meaning of the White Code to you this morning. But being here today, you've had a journey to get here. I don't know what that journey is. But I'm pretty sure for some of you, it was more tough than for others. Whatever it is, this is something that you've worked towards for a big part of your life. And you've achieved the moment today. This is the start of where you've wanted to be for a very long time. For those parents that's helped you to get here, some of you have had more help than others, but however that journey went, sit there just for a second and reflect and say to yourself, man, I don't care what anybody's saying, I made it to this point. So congratulations just for being here today. I wish you luck. I wish you all the best. I am excited, as I say, to see you in Grenada. We'll meet down there once you get there. Enjoy your time here. You're a student. Obviously, you're going to enjoy this great city. It blew you in here today. It's probably not going to blow you out. So just enjoy the time here in Newcastle. Good luck with your studies. And once again, congratulations. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marius Loukas, the Dean of the School of Medicine.
Good morning, distinguished faculty, honored guests, family members, and most importantly, the students. Today marks the beginning of an extraordinary journey. As the Dean of St. George's University, it's my privilege to stand before you and celebrate this significant milestone. The white coat you will don today is more than just a symbol of your entry to the field of medicine. It represents professionalism, compassion, responsibility, and a lifelong commitment to learning and service. To our students, you have significantly worked to reach this point, as Provost Jacobs mentioned, to various degrees. Many of you worked very, very hard, but your dedication, curiosity, and determination have brought you here, and we're incredibly proud of you. Today, you join a community of healers and scientists united by the shared goal of improving lives. Medicine is both an art and a science, and the white coat you wear today is a constant reminder of the trust and respect you must earn from your patients, your colleagues, and the society. The white coat is also a symbol of humility. It reminds us that the privilege of caring for another human being requires empathy and a commitment to always place the patient's needs above your own. As you wear this coat, let it inspire you to listen deeply, learn continuously, and act with integrity. To the families and loved ones, today is a celebration for you as well. Your support, sacrifices, and encouragement has been instrumental in bringing these future physicians to this point. On behalf of our faculty and staff, thank you for trusting us to guide your loved ones to this incredible journey. To our faculty and mentors, you play a crucial role in shaping the next generation of physicians. The lessons you impart both in and out of classroom will guide our students throughout their careers. Your dedication to teaching, research, and clinical care sets the standards for excellence, and I'm deeply grateful for that. Back to the students, as you stand on the threshold of your medical education, remember that this is just the beginning. There will be challenges, long nights, difficult cases, moments of doubt. Winter is coming, as Jon Snow will say. By the way, Jon Snow was a fascinating person. If you have a chance, read a little bit about him. He came to medical school here, and then he was one of the pioneers for public health, because he discovered the cause of cholera, that it was catastrophic for London in the mid-1800s. And he discovered it because he discovered the pump, that it was pumping the wrong water, and so on and so forth. But it's a fascinating person, by the way. But there will be also triumphs. Passing exams, patient smile, a diagnosis made, or a life saved. Embrace each moment, as they will shape you into the physician you are meant to become. I encourage you to lean to each other, learn from your mentors, and never lose sight of why you choose this path. Whether it was a desire to heal, a passion for discovery, or a calling to serve, let that purpose guide you. Medicine is more than a career. It is a privilege and a responsibility that will challenge and inspire you every day. As you put on your white coat today, wear it with pride, humility, and purpose. It is not just a piece of clothing. It is a promise to your future patients, to your community, and to yourselves. Congratulations to each of you. We are honored to be part of your journey, and we cannot wait to see the remarkable impact you will make to the world of medicine. Welcome to the class and to the profession of medicine. Thank you. It's my honor to invite on stage my Senior Associate of Clinical Studies, Dr. Robert Grant. I'm thrilled to add my welcome as well. As the Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Studies, I'm honored to represent all of the clinicians at our 80-plus clinical sites across multiple countries and multiple practice locations to greet and welcome our new incoming class of students to this fantastic program in collaboration with our colleagues here in Newcastle. I'm also honored to be able to represent them and add thanks because as their spokesperson, I'm here to thank each and every one in the audience, faculty, administrators, staff, and the families of students for all their support that they're giving to the class that's entering at present. Dean Loukas commonly tells a story when he gives advice, and I am shocked that he did not say it today. His advice to the students, as a parent himself, is to always remember that you are here as a member of an immediate family as we welcome you into a family of practitioners in one of the noblest of professions. Dean Lucas's advice, which I give you now on his behalf, is to stay in touch with your families. Make sure, thanks to modern electronic communication skills, that you send them a text, that you talk to them on WhatsApp, that even every so often, a simple word, mom, dad, brother, sister, I'm fine, I'm thinking of you, and I love you, is an investment that will ensure that their love and good wishes will return to you in bountiful amounts, not only throughout your time as a student, but also throughout your entire career as a healthcare professional. I'm also here. I am not a plagiarist. I must give credit where credit is due. As I said, that is Dean Lucas's talk that I just completely took away and gave on his behalf. And Marios, that is applause for you and your great advice. So well done. Now to what I wanted to say. I did know Dr. Gold when I was at Columbia, and Dr. Gold was a fascinating personality. He was a diminutive person. He was only about 5 feet tall. But of course, physical size has nothing to do with the extent and height of his legacy. He was a pediatrician, and the one thing that I learned was that, and maybe it was because of his diminutive size, he would get down to the level of his patients and look at them eye to eye. And the ability for him to connect with those patients, those children who were ill, and see the trust that he could immediately establish that bond with those children who were in need is something that continues to inspire me to this day. The Wall Street Journal recently had a series of articles and discussions back and forth which talked about the generational differences between surgeons like myself, who've enjoyed a many decades-long career in medicine, and the physicians who are just entering practice today. Is medicine a calling, or is it a job? Fascinating to go back and see the differences between, is this just something that we do to earn a paycheck, or is this something that we do because we've been called to serve our better man, to serve our fellow man? For me, I think it combines the elements of both. What's important is that you should consider medicine with a passion. The same advice that my dad gave me is that if you find something that you love to do, you will never consider yourself having to work a day in your life. Always seek to find that passion in what you do as a clinician. The field of medicine has so many wonderful specialties open to it. You'll find one that generates and causes that passion to fire inside you every single day. That's what's wonderful about our profession. There's many different opportunities at the different stages of your career to find what it is that gets you excited to get up in the morning.
You heard about what the white coat itself symbolizes. And I just want to have you know that in addition to representing the values and ideals that you heard discussed by Dean Loukas, it is a garment that symbolically you can never take off. You will be privy to the challenges and secrets of your fellow man and be able to help them in ways that no other person can ever impact. So that responsibility is one that will stay with you, whether you're on call or not on call, whether you're treating patients. Know that you will be seen in the community as someone who has a position of authority. And with that, know that every action that you take should be one to make sure that you are doing the right thing for the people who have entrusted their care to you. One of the challenges today, where everything is so instantly available and people lose the ability to reflect upon what their words mean, is the challenge of your own individual, personal, political thoughts and backgrounds when confronted with the cacophony of conflicting opinions which seems to be the norm in social media today. Remember that as a patient, the person is there asking for your help. You, as their physician, are there to treat them as someone who is seeking help. This is not a relationship where you're looking to be their friend or you're looking to see if you can recruit them to your particular point of view. Keep those discussions out of the exam room. You're there to help because another person has asked for their help. You will find challenging circumstances where the patient will say, I don't want someone who looks like you, or I don't want someone who goes to church like you do. That's their problem, not yours. And remember that it's a real challenge when somebody is going to confront you in that kind of way for you to step back, retain that professional demeanor, and realize that the patient is the one with the problem, not the doctor. At St. George's University, we have many resources to help and support you throughout your time as a medical student with us, and even after when you become one of our successful alums. What you have to do is you have to ask us for help. All of us at St. George's and at Northumbria are human beings too, with our own frailties and shortcomings. But we are committed, if you ask for our help, to ensure that everything we do is to make sure that the journey you are entering today will help you towards the successful endpoint that you have in mind. Know that the white coat is only the beginning of what will be a fantastic and exciting career for each and every one of you. Remember, though, that you do not want to lose your own personal and unique identity by becoming a member of the medical profession. One of the really exciting things about the multinational nature of the combination of experiences in the clinical world and these academic experiences with SGU and Northumbria is that you will have the opportunity to learn about all the different cultures you heard the Provost discuss. Be true to yourself. At this point in your lives, your moral compass has already been determined. Stay true to it. Don't ever compromise what you know to be right, because each and every one of you already know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. Take care of yourselves. Self-care is one of the most important characteristics of a successful clinician. As our friend and colleague, our former Vice Chancellor at SGU, Dr. Richard Leibowitz used to say, just like in the airplanes, should they have a cabin decompression, remember, put your own mask on first, and then go and help take care of the other person. So as you celebrate this milestone with your family and friends, I want to add my particular congratulations, both to those of you here in person and to the extended community who are listening, thanks to the miracles of modern electronics. Each and every one of us at Northumbria and at SGU are incredibly proud of you. I want to add and reinforce the fact that you have earned to be the right to be here and the right to practice medicine, assuming that you master all that we ask during our curriculum. I am fortunate to see the number of wonderful, eager young faces in the audience because I see the future of medical care in front of me. As someone who is getting to the point in life where I get to meet more doctors than I ever thought I was going to have to personally, I know that the future of medicine is in very good hands. I wish you all the best. Please reach out to us if we can be of assistance. I can't wait to see you the next time I'm here when I get to stop in with my fellow Senior Associate Clinical Dean, Dr. Clunes, and touch base with you as you're in the latter part of your time here. And then I do look forward to saying hello and following your progress when you get to each and every one of your clinical sites for that exciting part of your training. Congratulations and God bless. Mr. Coe.
Wow. Where do I go from there? Really, really inspiring words from obviously our Dean, our Senior Associate Dean in that respect. Reflection on some of that, okay, maybe more so for the students than for the faculty, is that I was told in medicine that the first rule is to ask for help, and the second rule was primum non nocere, which is just Latin for above all do no harm. And I think those rules still hold. I am comparing this, so I can fill in a couple of words, but I know that the majority of you are Canadian, so you may have heard about Sir William Osler, and if you haven't heard about him, you probably should do. But he did come up with what I think is one of the truisms in medicine, that to study medicine without a book is to set sail without a map. But to study medicine without a patient is not to set sail at all. And that's really what the curriculum, or the diet that we provide for you, is to try and make sure that you are at least integrated to a patient-focused curriculum. Okay, so that's me going off, but I now have to introduce our keynote speaker. And it's a real pleasure to do so. We've known each other for 4 or 5 years now. I've got permission to call him Eddie. But Dr. Eddie Morris, CB, is a regional director, according to the script, for the East of England, and a post that he started in 2022. More importantly, from when we first met, he was the president of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, which is a significant post to have in the UK, by the way. He's a consultant in gynecology in Norwich, Norfolk, which is a hospital that we send a number of our students to. And it's a relatively new hospital, but it's definitely an option for you in the future. It's good teaching hospital, and we've had really good feedback from that hospital. He's honorary associate professor at Norwich Medical School, University of East Anglia, and has been a faculty member at SGU since 2001, actually. Clerkship Director remains to be one of our best awarded or recognised through feedback teachers for SGU students. Teacher, facilitator, but yeah. Took up the presidency for our COG, and he's staring at me. We're wearing the same boots. But he took up the presidency in 2019, and during his term, that covered, obviously, the COVID pandemic, which was significant for all of us, in education or otherwise, and provided the RCOG COVID guidelines. That actually engendered the call for investment in workforce, specifically within the fields of obstetrics and gynecology, which was kind of overlooked a little bit, I think, perhaps. Maybe we can talk to that, to address healthcare inequalities. Prior to his presidency, he was the vice president for clinical quality from 2016, and represented the east of England, on the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists Council across that period during 2011 and 2016. During the presidency, he also held positions of Vice Chair of Standards and Academy of the Medical Royal Colleges. You are currently the Chair of the Multi-Professional Advisory Panel for Baby Lifetime. Globally recognised for your work throughout, as we talked about last night, throughout your career in patient safety standards and guideline provisions and medical device work, which is also important in this current era. Your work with MHRA is also paramount to the future practice of medicine. So I'm going off the script a little bit. But you were the inaugural chair of the Royal College of Surgeons Patient Safety and Policy Committee. Anything that I'm wrong on, you can correct me. And the chairman of the British Menopause Society from 2013 to 2015. Something for the students. You get an award potentially from the previous Queen or the King. They don't come around too often, but Eddie was awarded a CBE by the King in 2023 for all of that work that I just bored you with. Okay? For all the work that's essentially contributed towards improving patient safety. Okay? So it's not just a pleasure to introduce Eddie to the stage, but obviously it's significant for you as future practitioners to appreciate that, it's not just about doing the job, it's about basically thinking about that patient journey and improving patient safety moving forward. So now, I depart stage right, and I introduce Eddie Morris.
Thank you very much, James, for that. It's very kind and embarrassingly long introduction. Sorry you had to sit through that. It's quite interesting as I reflect on what we've heard already this morning. Much of what I'm going to say has already been mentioned, not by stealing their words, but by the fact that we're all united by the same profession, so we want to say the same things to you all in the room. And that's telling. So, ladies and gentlemen, guests, faculty, but most of all, medical students. I'm hugely honoured today to be here to give this address. I know just how much hard work has gone into getting you here into this celebration of your achievements so far. And it's therefore only appropriate that we mark it in this way. Congratulations to you and your families and loved ones who supported you in this journey. This is the next phase in your career. So even if you have the drive and enthusiasm to excel, which I'm sure you have because you wouldn't be here otherwise, the support of your family will be needed even more. So my recommendation is to remain on the good side of your family. So you may be wondering why I'm here. You've heard a bit of my introduction there, but primarily for me, I feel very honoured because I've been SGU faculty since 2001, so that's well over 20 years. I was the clerkship director in Norwich initially, and more recently I've gone back to being local faculty, so jobbing clinician, teaching SGU students about gynaecology. I've got a huge fondness for SGU, and so was delighted to accept today's invitation. I've been fortunate enough to have had the most, and still actually, to be having the most amazing career through being a doctor, and that's it, through being a doctor. I went to state school, so government-sponsored, and I went to medical school in London. And as you will have heard from the introduction, I've achieved a fair amount, and I'm very grateful for that. But if you come to me in my medical school's equivalent to today's ceremony, I would not have believed you. In fact, I'd have said you're having a laugh. Is there any secret to my success? I don't think really that there is, but what I'm going to share with you, I think, is common sense applied in a challenging environment. So number one, hard work. I know that's not what you want to hear, but you can be assured that you're not doing it alone in medicine. You never will be. As well as your peers, there's always someone around to help you, someone around to support you and to check that you're on the right track, wherever you are, whatever point you're at in your career. We work in the most amazing teams in medicine, and it's one of the key jobs of this medical school, this faculty, to show you how to work in a team, however experienced you are. Teams look after one another, they provide camaraderie, support, and ongoing professional development. Number 2, use these, your ears, always. Listening is the foundation of communication. In my first week of medical school, and that was some time ago, let me tell you that, my year tutor told us all that 90% of medicine is achieved through taking a good clinical history. I thought then that seemed a bit of an exaggeration. But now I agree. If you listen well to your patients, you will know what their problems are, how these affect their life, what you need to fix, how you can fix it, but importantly, how they might feel about their journey through treatment. Whilst doing all of this information gathering, you will also be forming a professional relationship that will help you gain their trust whilst you together refine and plan the approach to looking after them. Number 3, be kind, be compassionate, and mean it. Medicine isn't called one of the caring professions for nothing. You must be kind to your patients, your colleagues, and as we've already heard this morning, yourself. If you're not, you'll find it hard to succeed. Patients won't want you to look after them, your colleagues won't want to work with you, and there's good evidence that this can isolate you and, importantly, negatively affect patient care. And if you don't look after yourself, you're no use to anyone. And that all sounds a bit negative, but don't forget that in the clinical world, you're surrounded by opportunities. Opportunities abound. If you have time, take them. I did, and I didn't regret them at all. But do ask for help if you need it. You've heard that already this morning. The people you ask will be professionals, and take it from me, they want to help you. It's a really rewarding thing to help someone else within the field of medicine. I have a mantra. My mantra in life that's served me well is ask a difficult question nicely. The worst people can do is say no to you nicely. This has helped me immensely through squeezing more information out of my tutors when they really want to go home, to having difficult conversations with colleagues, and actually back at home right into negotiating a good deal on something I'm buying. This is a time in your life you will remember. It develops you as a person as well as a professional. It's true that so many facts we've learned are forgotten as we go through life. But your days as a medical student and resident doctor will, and I guarantee this, stay with you forever. Learning medicine is one hell of a journey. It's as immersive as it gets, and you never, ever stop learning. What you learn and how you learn it, though, definitely changes over time. But what follows you through your career is a litany of firsts. I remember so many of these firsts, but the ones that I remember in full colour, and I think the full colour memories are the ones that are really important, were, number one, my first trip into cadaveric dissection. The second one was the man I looked after as he took his last breaths and had no family beside him. And that was in my first year of medicine. And not only do I remember my first ever cesarean section as the lead surgeon, I also remember the faces of the dozens of doctors after they had delivered their first baby under my supervision. It's a real privilege to do that. Another duty I have today, though, is telling you of the other person you will become. You may not know it, but I'm sure SU told you, but maybe they haven't. You are now all in teacher training college, as well as medical school. You will notice that as the years go by, people will come to you to learn the skills that you have learned. And I know those skills will be those that you show prowess in. because they won't come to your lives. This is a great feeling. I remember so many teachers in my career, so don't forget that as you go through your career, you'll be leaving your marks on future healthcare professionals. People don't forget those who make an impression, so make sure make sure they have good memories of your teaching. I've often been asked who my favourite teacher was. It's impossible. There are so many, and sometimes it's not the most eminent of the professors, but it's those lower down in the ranks of teachers that matter and impact the most. For me, perhaps the most thorough and patient teacher, so not patient in the sense of patient looking after, but patient in terms of giving me the time, was the registrar who taught me how to tie one-handed surgical knots with both hands, with either hand. It took him many hours, over many weeks, both in the coffee room and during operations under his supervision. That man deserved a medal for giving me so much time. Not only has that been one of those things that has saved me so much time during surgery over the years, but it's a great party trick. One thing I've been personally blessed with is good communication skills. You'll have gathered from the list of skills I gave you earlier that the medicine is hugely influenced by our ability to communicate. It's therefore essential, in my view, that the medical schools embrace teaching the fundamentals of communication, and then you can each test and hone your skills through simulation and real conversations with patients. I often get asked if I ever get nervous before speaking. The truth is, I always do. I did today. It keeps me focused, but I find that if I'm well prepared before I communicate, I do it better. This is applied in so many situations in my career. Really importantly, from one-to-one conversations with patients, explaining complex medical issues, to giving a lecture to several thousand people when I was a research fellow, and right up until perhaps the most stressful of communication exercises, being interviewed live by the BBC on TV and radio when I was president. So, I've given you lots of advice. Work hard, listen, communicate, be kind, and you will find that comfortable place in our profession. However, don't stay there. And it's really important, don't stay there. Because if you do, you risk falling behind. So you need to keep on learning. Medicine doesn't stand still. In fact, it can't. To meet the challenges of new diseases, expanding populations, the need for healthy aging, and the choice of our patients, we have to innovate and learn how to apply new innovations safely and effectively. In your career, so listen hard guys, you will treat conditions that have never yet been diagnosed. You'll use medications that haven't yet been invented. You'll embrace technological developments that we can only start to imagine here today. You want to be a good doctor, delivering high-quality healthcare, or you may aspire to be a world leader in your field. You really can't be the leader if you're not a good doctor. A firm foundation gained through medical school with hard work, listening, compassion and determination will give you the skills and, importantly, the adaptability to make the most of the opportunities that will come your way during your career. So once again, congratulations. A great career undoubtedly awaits you all, and I applaud you and congratulate you. Always be proud of your achievements. If you're not, your family sure as heck will be proud of you. Celebrate today, wear your white coat with pride, enjoy your time at this fantastic medical school, and if you come to Norwich as part of your attachments, do look me out. Thank you very much for listening.
You probably heard enough of me at this point, but if I could have had that when I started medical school, it would have been, if I could have remembered any of that, from Dean Loukas, from Dean Grant, and obviously from Eddie, and taking that into my practice, it would have been, it would make my life easier. So my challenge to the students are for you to actually remember some of that stuff, about communication. For us, it was if you listen to your patient, you get 80% of the diagnosis. You said 90%, but that's probably before we had CTs and MRIs. I couldn't, I could not agree more with that. That we do often look for new technologies to try and advance medicine, but in actual fact, there's basic skills that are required for a patient diagnosis that have been around for hundreds of years. So thank you so much for that presentation. We are going to now bring in Dr. Shubham Malhotra. Prior to that, we are going to actually give you some white coats. So that might be why you're here. So I would like to introduce the white coat speakers. We are going to have four white coat providers. Marianne Morris, who is our UK Associate Chair of Paediatrics, and the better half of our white coat speaker. Lee Dvorkin, who's our UK Associate Chair of Surgery. Dr. Grant, who you've already heard from, who's our Senior Associate Dean for Clinical Studies, and Dr. Halal, who's very close to us because he is our Assistant Professor of Physiology, but we've been working together for the past 11 years now, is it? Thereabouts. Anyway, please, could you come to the stage? Marianne, if you could, I'm going to push you that way. It doesn't really matter where you sit there, Bob. It's fine. Okay, so probably more importantly, and the job that I didn't want to do ever is to read out all the names. So Dr. Thompson, who is our lecturer and director of Taylor College, important to maybe just take a little bit of reflection on this, because all of you students are members of the Keith B. Taylor Global Scholars Program. And Keith B. Taylor was an Oxford-educated Stanford physician who essentially had the idea that we might need to expand from our mothership in Grenada to having this campus. So it was his idea, and to have this partnership with Northumbria University. Unfortunately, he passed before the first intake in 2007. There have been more than 2,600 or 2,400 of you that have processed across stages like this. So it is important just to reflect on that, and it's also important, as I said in orientation, for you to have a little look at the plaque for Keith B. Taylor, because you are all Keith B. Taylor Global Scholars Program students. Dr. Thompson is the director of Taylor College, and she will be doing the onerous task of reading out the names. Dr. Thompson. What we would ask you to do is to not applaud until the end. I know that two of the students wish to be coated by their significant others. Three? Oh. Okay. And therefore they will be on at the end, but Nicholas Sands, who's the most important person in the room, will be guiding us in that respect. Dr. Thompson.
Okay, good morning to everyone. As we begin to welcome our students who are to be robed by members of the stage. Noor Ethoui, Andrew Shabib, Sumit Malik, Gabriel Bishara, Lara Canan, Yasmin Gonçalves Himicho, Simra Sohal, Shyla Hoffman. Hassan Shafiq, Peramjot Gojia, Tony Zen, Ramisha Sohal. Bradley Bagans Jr., Taylor Walsh, Max Sheshabergovich, At this time, we would like to invite our 3 guest robers for the next 3 students. Dr. Novera Akram, Pediatric Hospitalist, Brownsville, Texas. Dr. Faria Sajad, Post-Operative Ward in Charge, Hospital in Bangladesh. Dr. Coyote Johnson, Pain Management Anesthesiologist, Windsor Regional Hospital. Myra Shugtai, Shagufta Rahman, Jesutomesen Johnson.
Yeah, I think we need a round of applause for Dr. Thompson for being able to pronounce all those names correctly. It's a small ceremony. You guys are small in number, but have strong as a group. We've seen you from orientation onwards. We would like now to introduce Dr. Shiva Malhotra, who you met across the course of your first week, who is our Assistant Dean of Students, to lead you through the professionalism commitment. Shiva. Get it?
Thank you, Dr. Koi, and a huge congratulations to all the newly robed students and a very warm welcome to the profession. It is a real privilege for me to be actually reciting this oath with you. The commitment, which you can find in your programs, printed programs, was written by a student task force in 1995 and has been recited at each of the School of Medicine white coat ceremonies. So at this time, I invite all the newly robed students, as well as all physicians in the audience, to please stand and recite the oath with me. Today is the beginning of my medical education and training as a physician. I acknowledge my responsibility to continue the pursuit of knowledge and understanding until that day when I cease to be a practicing physician. I am entering training for a noble profession in which my interest must always be subservient to those who may seek my assistance. I must be ever conscious of the value of my fellow health professionals and treat them with respect at all times. My classmates at St. George's University are now my colleagues, and I owe to them the same support and encouragement to achieve their goals as I hope to achieve from them. I will work alongside my colleagues and professors with tolerance, compassion, and honesty. I acknowledge my obligation to adhere to the University Honor Code and to conduct myself with integrity and in an ethical manner at all times henceforth. I shall do all within my power to show in myself an example of all that is honorable and good throughout my medical career. It is a privilege to have been given the opportunity to become a physician. May I be ever conscious of that privilege and never abuse it. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and a very warm welcome again.
Okay, well, it's been emotional. It's been really, really inspiring, even for me to hear from my colleagues their journey through this, and the white coat speaker, obviously Eddie, as well. Even though you're a small group of students, you are going to be working together for the next 4 or 5 years, at least. So it's taking some of that advice that you've been given, remembering some of the bits and pieces that you've been told. That would be fantastic. Anyway, so this basically finishes the end of your white coat ceremony, the start of your journey into being a doctor. You've been given some advice, some good advice. We would like you to remain seated and keep the aisles clear until the faculty can exit stage right. We've changed this quite a lot recently, so we would like the faculty to remain so they can interact with the students where possible. There will be a light liquid reception across the building, and really, really, from the student perspective, a good opportunity to speak to anyone who has inspired you or who you wish to ask any questions. You'll see a lot more of myself, so you don't have to do that now. But we must remind that the students, especially for the family. How many family members do we have here? Great. So let's give them a round of applause, by the way. And to all the messaging that you've had before, you guys wouldn't be here unless they'd helped you get here, okay? And so that's a good point of reflection. But we want to enable you to spend some time with your families this afternoon before they leave, and hopefully go and enjoy the the beautiful city of Newcastle, which was meant to be stormy, but at the moment seems to be very sunny. So anyway, but really thank you for joining us today and for humouring me across the this compareship. You've had some really inspiring messaging from people at the top of their profession, and please remember some of that. But thank you all. Yeah. Sorry guys, one last thing is that if you do want to have a group photograph on the stage with the photograph